Well, it seems that Labour have finally realised that appearing to house asylum seekers in lovely flats like the one behind me has actually kind of peed the rest of the country off, and they've come up with a brand new plan. But Reform's UK Deputy Leader Richard Tice decided to have a bit of fun with the Home Secretary's idea, which of course was to house asylum seekers in old industrial and military sites. And Yvette Cooper had mentioned earlier this week that the government was thinking about using abandoned warehouses, former military bases and disused tower blocks to put up migrants, aiming to ditch the use of asylum hotels, and of course, as we heard recently, appearing to give them brand new flats or houses worth around about £300,000 if I remember rightly. But there's been quite a bit of pressure on the government to stop using hotels, with protests popping up outside them all over the country lately. And Richard Tice took to X and says, hey, I've got an empty warehouse far from any residents, and I can offer to you a special price. It's super sustainable with solar panels on the roof. Happy to help, which personally I think is absolutely awesome. And it makes me wonder what Labour will say about it. I'm guessing it probably won't be too much. But earlier this week, the Prime Minister gathered everyone for a chat, shall we call it, about how to end the use of asylum hotels, and promising to do so by the end of this Parliament. And his spokesman mentioned that they're looking into speeding up the closure of these 3 hotels with modular buildings on industrial and ex-military sites being value for money option apparently that they're considering. I personally think something like tents would save a bit more money, and what would save even more money? A return trip back to the safe country of France where they came from in more than, 99% cases, I'm guessing. And according to state agent Savills, there's a whopping 60 million square feet of empty warehouse space across the UK, with over 300 unused units. And remember, the pressure is on as small boat crossings keep happening, because I'm guessing they all realise that Keir Starmer is about as useful as a chocolate fireguard. And remember, of course, was it 50,000 people have arrived since Labour won the general election in July 2024. But by the end of June, there were a whopping 32,059 asylum seekers, or illegal boat people as they're otherwise known, in over 200 hotels, which is apparently an 8% increase from last year, but is down from March. The cost to the public purse, though, was an estimated £5.77 million per day, not per week or month or year, per day of our tax money in a tax year 2024/2025, which of course I'm pretty sure we'll all agree could have been spent on much better things. But on top of that, there's even talk apparently of introducing national ID cards to apparently make it harder for those in the country illegally to get work. And Cabinet member Pat McFadden chatted about this in Estonia, where of course they have apparently a super ID card system used for everything from tax returns to supermarket loyalty points. I'm guessing Tesco could be all over this. He mentioned that digital ID cards could be applied to the immigration and benefits system to ensure people are who they say they are and to save taxpayers money. But of course, I'm guessing that this, if they are rolled out, won't actually be just for all those illegal boat people out there. I'm guessing they'll want it for everyone in the country, which not everyone will be happy about, and I personally understand why. There's this little thing that Labour keep forgetting about, this little word called privacy or whatever you want to call it, which they really do need to learn about. Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick said the Conservatives would oppose it, and he pointed out that most employers hiring people illegally are apparently doing so knowingly and dishonestly, so asking them to check ID cards instead of the current checks wouldn't actually, make too much difference. And if that is the case, you can understand why, can't you? It just does make me wonder, though, how effective the Rwanda plan would have been, and admittedly I could be wrong, but I'm guessing if that was allowed to happen, that would have been much more of a deterrent than Labour's sweet of a security border force control or whatever they want to call it, which I don't know about you, but I haven't exactly heard too much about. Have you, eh?